Have you experienced a coincidence that was just so oddly connected that it maybe...
Go listen to her coincidence story and how she met her husband. I love stories like this because I've had some weird movie-like coincidences happen in my life. But I think I'll tell you these two if this can fit in. So when I was a little girl, I was obsessed with this boy that I grew up with. And I just knew that this boy and I would get married. And I used to write in journals and notebooks. And I always used to put my name and his last name together. I just knew that me and him were going to get married and have children together. Years go by and he didn't like me. Maybe when I was about 15, he was like, forget it, fine, I'll date you. And I was just like, you don't like me, you just want to date me because you're bored. And we ended up not dating. So in his 20s, he ends up having a child with somebody. And I never knew this woman's name. I knew her by her nickname. Okay. So years later, I end up meeting the woman he had a child with. They weren't married at the time. And her and I are talking. And she said, well, can I save you on Facebook? And I said, yeah, sure. When she goes to my Facebook, she says, wait a minute, is your name Angelique? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, my name's Angelique. And I'm like, no, it's not. Then we both realize we have the same first and middle name. So all those years of me writing in my notebook, writing in my journal, I actually manifested him marrying a woman with my first and middle name. Now, the funny thing is, in my 20s, I ended up dating his uncle. I know, crazy. And his uncle and him have the same last name. So I could have had his last name, just not through him. Creepy, I know. So he ends up marrying a woman with my first and middle name, and I almost end up marrying his uncle. And my name would have been, Angelique Jackson, basically. And I used to write that over and over in my journal. I have a life path number 8, which is 8 is a manifesting number. So I have to be very careful. If you're life path number 8, be very careful of what you write down and the things that you manifest, because it may not come in the package that you want it to come in.